One day, God summoned Adam for an important task he must complete. God said, "Adam, I want you to do something for me." Adam said, "Gladly, Lord. What do you want me to do?" God said, "Go down into that valley." Adam said, "What's a valley?" God explained it to him. Then God said, "Cross the river." Adam said, "What's a river?" God explained that to him. Then God said, "Go over to the hill." Adam said, "What's a hill?" So God explained to Adam what a hill was. God told Adam, "On the other side of the hill, you will find a cave." Adam said, "What's a cave?" God explained what a cave was. Then God said, "In the cave, you will find a woman." Adam said, "What's a woman?" So God explained that to him too. God continued, "I want you to reproduce." Adam said, "Well, gosh, how do I do that?" God muttered away to himself, rather annoyed. Then, just like everything else, God explained that to Adam as well. So Adam goes down into the valley, across the river, over the hill, into the cave, and finds the woman. Then, after about 30 minutes, Adam was back. God, his patience wearing thin, said angrily, "What is it now?" Adam then asked, "What's a headache?" Deep in the backwoods of Letcher County, Kentucky, a redneck's wife went into labor in the middle of the night. The frantic husband called a doctor out to assist in the delivery. Since there was no electricity, the doctor handed the father to be a lantern and said, "Here, you hold this high so I can see what I am doing." Soon a baby boy was brought into the world. The redneck set the lantern down to take a swig of whiskey. "Whoa there," said the doctor. "Don't be in such a rush to put that lantern down. I think there's another one coming." Sure enough, within minutes, he had delivered a baby girl. "Hold that lantern up. Don't set it down. There's another one on its way," said the doctor. Within a few minutes, he had delivered a third baby. "No, don't be in a hurry to put down that lantern. It seems there's yet another one coming," cried the doctor. The redneck scratched his head in bewilderment and asked the doctor, "You reckon it might be the light that's attracting them?" Two old men, Bob and Jack, were sitting on a park bench, feeding the pigeons and talking about baseball. Bob turned to Jack and asked, "Do you think there's baseball in heaven?" Jack thought about it for a minute and replied, "I don't know, but let's make a deal. If I die first, I'll come back and tell you if there's baseball in heaven, and if you die first, you do the same." They shook on it. Sadly, a few months later, poor Bob passed away. Soon afterward, Jack was sitting in the park, feeding the pigeons by himself, and heard a voice whisper, "Jack, Jack." Jack replied, "Bob, is that you?" "Yes, it is," whispered Bob's ghost. Jack, still amazed, asked, "So is there baseball in heaven?" "Well," said Bob, "I've got some good news and some bad news." "Give me the good news first," Jack said excitedly. "Well," said Bob, "there is baseball in heaven." Jack says, "That's great. What news could ruin that?" Bob sighs and whispers, "You're pitching on Friday." There was an officer of the Royal Navy named Captain Robinson who showed no fear when facing his enemies. One day, while sailing the seven seas, his lookout spotted a pirate ship approaching, and the crew became frantic. Captain Robinson bellowed, "Bring me my red shirt!" The first mate quickly retrieved the captain's red shirt, and while wearing the brightly colored garment, the captain led his crew into battle and defeated the mighty pirates. That evening, all the men sat around on deck, recounting the triumph of earlier. One of them asked the captain, "Sir, why did you call for your red shirt before battle?" The captain replied, "If I were to be wounded in the attack, the shirt would not show my blood. Thus, you men would continue to fight, unafraid." All of the men sat and marveled at the courage of such a manly man's man. As dawn came the next morning, the lookout spotted not one, not two, but 10 pirate ships approaching. The crew stared in worshipful silence at the captain and waited for his usual orders. Captain Bravado gazed with steely eyes upon the vast armada arrayed against his ship, and without fear turned and calmly shouted, "Bring me my brown pants." One Sunday, just a few minutes before services were to begin, Satan appeared at the front of the church. Everyone started screaming and running for the front entrance, trampling each other in a frantic effort to get away. Soon the church was empty, except for one elderly gentleman who sat calmly in his pew without moving, seemingly oblivious to the fact that God's ultimate enemy was in his presence. So Satan walked up to the man and asked, "Do you know who I am?" The man replied, "Yep, sure do. Aren't you afraid of me?" Satan asked. "Nope, sure ain't," replied the man. "Don't you realize I can kill you with one word?" asked Satan. "Don't doubt it for a minute," returned the old man in an even tone. "Did you know that I can cause you profound, horrifying agony for all eternity?" persisted Satan. "Yep," the man replied calmly. "And you are still not afraid?" asked Satan. "Nope," said the old man, more than a little perturbed. Satan asked, "Why aren't you afraid of me?" The man calmly replied, "Been married to your sister for 48 years. A farmer had 5 female pigs. Times were hard, so he decided to take them to the county fair and sell them. At the fair, he met another farmer who owned 5 male pigs. After talking a bit, they decided to mate the pigs and split everything equally. The farmers lived 60 miles apart, so they agreed to meet halfway, then find a field where they could let the pigs mate. The first morning, the farmer with the female pigs got up at 5 a.m., loaded the pigs into the family station wagon, and drove the 30 miles to the field. While the pigs were mating, he asked the other farmer, "How will I know if they are pregnant?" The other farmer replied, "If they're lying in the grass tomorrow morning, they're pregnant. If they're in the mud, they're not." The next morning, the pigs were rolling in the mud. So he hosed them off, loaded them into the family station wagon, and proceeded to try again. This continued each morning for more than a week. Both farmers were worn out. The next morning, the farmer was too tired to get out of bed. He called to his wife, "Honey, please look outside and tell me whether the pigs are in the mud or in the grass." "Neither," yelled his wife. "They're in the station wagon, and one of them is honking the horn." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.